Hello YouTube, it is Championdjk coming at you again with another weekly episode, and as usual I've got some pretty cool stuff to share with you. Not too many things, but it'll still be a long episode because they all are. Well, let's just kind of run through what I got. So Ultra Red, bing, and then Ultra Red, bong, ha. Pretty awesome. I got two Ultra Reds this week, and both from buddies. Well, Todd snagged this off a Facebook seller for me and just gave it to me at cost. Anytime he finds one for a good price, he lets me know, and then he just grabs them. So got this Lincoln. So of course we'll open the other two in the series because I don't have those open yet. And then same goes with the Cadillac. These are both from the same series, 2022 release 1. This Cadillac I got from my good buddy Diecast, who I hub for here in the U.S. Every once in a while he picks me up some stuff to compensate me for my services, and he's picked up that. I also just got a bunch of green light cases in that he ordered, and we will be checking those out in the coming couple weeks here, so that'll be cool as well. And then of course we're going to open up the two regular ones to complement the Ultra Red. So very stoked to score two Ultra Reds off the list. That's always nice. I've been slacking, so it's good to get a couple off the list. And then I got a couple of mini GT to look at. There's three of them here. We're going to take a look at the Lamborghini Aventador SVJ in Verde Mantis. Right there. That should be pretty neat. We've got a Bugatti Chiron Pur Sport. I don't know. PUR, whatever that is, in blue. So we're going to take a look at that too. And then we've got the RUF CTR Anniversary in Irish Green. I love this car in green, and we're going to check that out as well. All right, so those three mini GT. I got one Matchbox. Found it today actually at Target. Just a Pontiac Grand Prix in gold from the Moving Parts series. I don't know what else is in this wave, but this is the only thing they had hanging, and I just picked it up. So there you go. And then if you watched a video that I posted earlier this week, my buddy Michael sent me a box of some old, like, vintage, kind of off-brand or different brand, non-Hot Wheel kind of cars or whatever. So check that video out if you haven't, but I was inspired by that box. I ended up searching eBay, and I ended up picking up an old Schuko, what are these, what's the scale of these things, like 166 or something? Anyway, BMW, Jägermeister. So that's pretty neat. We'll take a look at that close up. It's all metal. I don't know if it's all original or not. It almost looks like somebody painted the base. I'm not really sure if that's the original color for it or not. I'm sure Michael will let me know. He probably knows. But anyway, we'll check it out. That should be pretty cool. And then lastly, I got a box from Japan. I'm going to show some of it. We've got some Tomica. A couple of Tomica basics. A Lamborghini Huracan STO. Right there. And then the brand new Lamborghini Countach LPI 800-4. That's pretty cool. So I'm stoked to see that. And then I've got some Tomica Limited Vintage. We've got a Honda S2000. This is in silver, so we'll check that out. And then we also have two Ferraris. We've got a Ferrari Testarossa in yellow. And the one I'm most excited for is a Ferrari GTO. Right there. So that's pretty sick. This is going to be a sick one to look at. So awesome stuff. We're going to take a look at all this stuff up close, of course, as usual. I'm really excited for those Tomica Limited Vintage. It's been a while since I've picked up a Ferrari Tomica Limited Vintage, so that's pretty exciting. And then I'm also really excited, actually, just for this little basic Countach. That's going to be really cool, too. And then we got Ultra Reds and some other cool stuff. So, you know, keep her tuned. Let's flip around. All right, so let's get into this Cadillac casting first. So we got the Ultra Red right here, and then we got, of course, the version A and the version B. Let's go ahead and start with version A in Tarragon Gold Poly, limited to 14,910 pieces. 2022 release 1, 1976 Cadillac Eldorado. Let's go ahead and get it open and check it out. This gold color is kind of cool. It's pretty nice looking gold. It's almost greenish. But out of the package, it looks more gold, I guess, than it does in the package. And I am digging this. It's actually a really cool color. Tarragon gold. Of course, we got an opening hood feature. We got details that you know and love from Auto World. 75 Caddy there. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Got a Cadillac logo on the back. Very well detailed. Nice casting. And then this color is actually really neat as well. Firethorn Poly for this flavor. And let's open up that. And there you have it in Firethorn Poly. So it's a poly, so yeah, it will be like a metal flake. But it's very subtle on this one. But I do like this color. I think it's really nice. Again, opening hood. And of course the details all around. The plate is on the same. The plate is the same on this one as the other version. Sometimes Auto World does that, and sometimes they do not. Very nice. I like this pairing of these cars. I think this these might be the best colors that this has come out in so far. Is this gold and this kind of like whatever Firethorn burgundy kind of color. I'm trying to think of what other colors it has come out in. But I don't know. These ones I really like. So very, very cool. I like these. All right. Then next we got, of course, the Ultra Red. Thanks to Diecast. Thank you, buddy. The Ultra Red is going to go. They're going to be version A traits, which is why it's got the tan top there, and then they will have Ultra Red body, Ultra Red interior, white base, and white tires. And rims, and white rims as well. Sometimes they do just the white tires without the white rims. So, as usual, Auto World likes to mix up their the chase attributes. Same with Johnny Lightning with the white lightnings. So not every series will have the exact same attributes, but this one, white tires, white rims, white base, red body, red interior. And pretty obvious that it's a chase. Very, very cool. We got a little bit of a paint issue in the back here. Not a huge deal, but it's there. Got to point it out. Yeah, pretty neat indeed. All right, let's get to the other boat in the series, the Lincoln. We got kind of a similar, we got a gold, and then we got this Midnight Jade, which is a very deep green, and then we also have the Ultra Red, of course. Let's start with the version A in Midnight Jade. So you can tell too right away in the Ultra Red. See, that's why it's got the Midnight Jade, or I guess it's, yeah, it is green back on there instead of the gold one that would be on the other one. And that doesn't matter whether or not you find it in a version A or version B card. They are going to all have that version A trait. So there's an aside there. Midnight Jade. 14,910 pieces, 1978, Lincoln Continental Mark V. And pull it out. I love this casting. It's a beast. Very heavy. All metal, of course. Of course, we got an opening hood. If we can get this one open. This one's a little bit harder to get open. Might try it on the tan one. Usually that works really good, but it's not in this case. Tight fitting hood, which is good though, because I really never display these open. The white wall or whatever on the tire, not quite centered on this rear wheel. The rest of them look okay. Let's take a look. There you go. There's your plate. Details on the back. Continental across the back there. This car is just a beautiful machine. It just is. It's so cool. I love these. Fantastic. I would love to drive one around today. Imagine that being your daily driver, this big boat. Gas hog, I am sure. And then we got this guy, Jubilee Gold. Very gold, including the rims on this one. Jubilee Gold. Nice color gold. So we're trying to get the hood open, maybe. Would you just open? I felt like the base was coming off of this thing for a second. Well, whatever. There's a motor under there, guys. Trust me. And I'm just not going to bother ripping it open because we know it's there, and that's all we really need to know. Besides, I mean, this thing's shut so tight. Tight lines, and we're going to keep it that way. Nice details, of course. And it looks really good. Maybe the Ultra Red's hood will open really easy. So here's the Ultra Red. With shipping, this was a steal at, I believe, $22 or something like that. Can't argue with that. That's cheap. With shipping, I'm like, oh yeah, 22 shipped. That's a deal. You don't find them that cheap that often, especially in this Lincoln. It's a pretty, I think, pretty desirable casting. So again, we got the white base, white tires, white rims, red body, red interior. We're just not getting a hit open on this, and that's okay. That's cool. So actually, they put a black top on this one. Is this? No, that's green. That's interesting. That's green too, and they decided to go with a black because that is definitely not green. Huh, that's interesting. So it's kind of got neither of the traits. They don't do that very often. So that's kind of special in my book for an Ultra Red. So this is pretty sick. I am glad to get this off the list. Both of these actually are very, very cool to get off of the list of Ultra Red needs. I think the only one that I have left for this series is I need the Roadrunner. I think that's it. I need the Roadrunner, and then this series will be complete. I need a lot more from the series before it. I only have 2 from the series before it, so that's where I'm really slacking. And then I think I'm missing 2 from the series before that. So I have 2 of one, I'm missing 2 of the other, I'm missing 1 of this one. So anyway, we'll get him eventually. We'll get him eventually. So, all right, moving on. Let's take a look real quick at this neat little Schuko. So I just recently discovered these thanks to a buddy of mine, Michael. And I thought the castings were really cool, so I decided to kind of hunt eBay for them, and I got this one at a bargain. It was listed slightly incorrectly, and I think that's why I got it at a bargain. It was listed at 1/64 scale. It's not 1/64 scale. I think it's 1/66. And most of them are listed properly at 1/66 scale, and that's how people search for these, and they tend to ask quite a bit of money for ones that are in really good shape. This one's in pretty darn good shape. The thing I was confused about was the base being this weird brown color, but it's got to be original. I just thought it was odd to have it be this like kind of metallic brown, I don't know, coloring on the bottom. Just thought that was kind of interesting. The wheels are plastic, but they do have suspension, and this thing does have opening doors that open and shut quite well. And it's really kind of neat. It's BMW 3.0 CSL and Jägermeister graphic. So it's old. These things are old. I don't know what date this is actually from or when these actually came out, but they're old. I can tell you that. And how old? I can't tell you. But, you know, Michael will probably comment on this video and let me know how old this is when these actually came out. But Very cool. This thing rolls straight and quite well. So this is a kind of a cool, neat little add to the collection. Quite different from what Schuko puts out today. Really cool to see some vintage stuff. Most of the stuff from Schuko that I see that's older is in the larger scale. So kind of neat, or actually larger or smaller. I'm not sure that they put out a lot in this scale, so kind of difficult to find-ish. At least difficult to find at a bargain in any good condition. So I'm kind of lucky to have found that on my first search. Very neat. All right, next, let's do this Matchbox moving parts. 1964 Pontiac Grand Prix in gold. A lot of gold going on here. And this is your basic Pontiac Grand Prix casting. This has been out quite a few times now in the moving parts or whatever line from Matchbox, collector's line. It's not a bad casting. The door gaps are a little exaggerated. But it looks all right. Not the most spectacular thing, but and these doors kind of look a little janky in comparison to other companies that do opening doors and other Matchbox that have opening doors. Gap's a little crazy, especially on that side. All right, moving on. Mini GT, sure, let's do that, and then we're gonna get into the Tomica stuff, and then we're done for the day. We got Lamborghini Aventador SVJ and Verde Mantis. So let's go ahead and take a peek at this bad boy. The Aventador SVJ is from all Lambo's perspective. I don't necessarily really dig the styling on this one. I'm not sure. I think it's just because of the, I don't know, maybe just because of the SVJ in the back and the black details and stuff. I don't know. For some reason it just, and I don't really like the wheels either, to be honest. But still pretty cool. In Verde Mantis. I did see someone locally driving a Huracan lately, and man, that thing looks pretty awesome in person. I've never seen one in person. You don't get to see a lot of crazy cars in my area. For one, the weather sucks. You would have to, basically not be able to drive it for much of the year. And then you'd have to store it, and I'd imagine whatever. Anyway, I guess if you have enough money to own one of these things. You have enough money to store it and stuff like that, but we're not the ideal supercar climate. And yeah, so there's that. Lots of big expensive trucks. Not much not many Lambos on the road in my town. Part of that is a wealth thing, right? There's not that many wealthy people in my town. There probably is a decent amount, but not a lot of Lambo owners. All right, and then next is we got the. Well, you want to see this one kind of close here? It's all right. It's pretty good. It's not the strongest mini GT casting, but it is pretty nice, and they do a good job of it. Bugatti Chiron Persport. Persport? Poor Sport? Is it a Poor Sport? This thing's pretty wild. Ooh, the wheels on this are nutty. It doesn't really translate on the packaging. Put the box away here, and look at this sucker. So this is wrought with detail. Look at the wheels. Kind of look like a cover of a oscillating fan. Or almost spiderweb-ish. But kind of neat. Kind of neat. The carbon fiber graphic on here looks pretty awesome. The wing looks really good as well in a carbon fiber. Bugatti on there. So we got nice, sharp details. Yeah, that's really cool. And of course, the Mini GT, you're going to get metal body, metal base, rubber tires. You're going to get these rubberized mirrors, which are awesome. Big fan of those. Not as scary to handle. This thing's actually pretty sick. I like this a lot more than I thought I would. Very, very cool. All right, definitely digging that one. And then the last Mini GT we're going to look at. I actually got more than these three, but we're going to save a couple for another episode. Just because I wanted to kind of show you more of a mix today. This RUF CTR Anniversary in Irish Green. What'd you get out of the box? So I have this car in yellow, which is the kind of the flagship color for this car, dare I say. But Irish Green is, I don't know why, but this color in Porsches in general, I like the green Porsches. 911s anyway. This dark color green for this body shape. I don't know, for some reason it just really does it for me. I can't put my finger on as to why. But I do think it looks really nice. Very, very cool. So you get the inserted details, of course, for headlights. You get the inserted details for the tail. This is plastic right here. Rubberized mirrors. Rubber tires, of course. Metal base, screwed together. Construction. And a pretty sweet, car. I think it's pretty awesome. Rolls really nice, like most Mini GTs do. So I'm definitely digging this one as well. But now, it is time to look at some Tomica. We're going to start with two basic models, and then we'll ramp up to the finale, which is going to be the Tomica Limited Vintage models, which are pretty much, Tomica Limited Vintage is really the OG, super highly detailed 1/64 scale diecast. And they're still among the best. I have a hard time saying they're the best these days because there's a lot of really cool stuff out there that I'm a fan of. I love Mini GT. Now, Mini GT is not quite as detailed as Tomica Limited Vintage in some cases, but totally different style of construction. And then you have Inno 64 is super detailed. You have Tarmac Works, of course. You got some Schuko stuff. There's like so many like these Chinese brands. Too many to name, that put out some really detailed stuff as well. But Tomica Limited Vintage is kind of, as far as I'm concerned, the original, like, really super high-end 1/64 scale diecast. There's always been really high-end, larger scale diecast. 118s and whatnot. But for 1/64 scale, Tomica Limited Vintage I would consider really the first super detailed line. Alright. This thing's pretty wild. Lamborghini Huracan STO. Now, the Tomica basics are a little goofy. They're not going to be exactly 1/64 scale. They're often different scales. This one's 1/62. The most, I guess, biggest pain point with them is probably their basic wheels. They only have really two different types of wheels that you're going to see on cars. And this is one of them, and I'm guessing it's going to be the same wheel on this Countach. And the other is more of a vintage-looking wheel. But their basic models do don quite a bit of detail. I mean, painted details, but very sharp. The paint quality is always very, very good. And so, yeah, I think the wheels are the only thing that's a deterrent from maybe some people buying them. I really like the Tomica basics. I think they have kind of like just a flavor of their own. They're just a bit different. There's a lot of detail in them, but yet they kind of have those generic wheels. They do kind of feel like a toy. And, you know, they're really kind of meant to be a toy. But I think they're cool. They're cool models to collect. They're not that expensive either if you kind of put them together with some other stuff you get shipped, and you buy them from a Japanese website or something like that. You get them fairly inexpensively. So we got that one, and then the Countach, the brand new Countach. I hope we see a more premium version of this. Probably come out in Tomica Premium. I doubt we'll see, Tomica Limited Vintage Neo do one of these, but who knows? It's not out of the realm of possibility. They could do it. They probably won't. It's too new of a car. They don't really do many new cars. I could see, Mini GT doing this car as well. So here's the Countach, the rebirth of the Countach. And this one is in 1/64 scale. So this one's actually 1/64. I don't know how accurate that is, but it says it's 1/64 scale, and I guess we'll just believe him. And I'd say, it's probably about right. I don't know. This car, now looking at it in diecast form, it looks a little weird. Mainly the wheel arches. And I don't know if this is how it legitimately looks on the real car. I've seen pictures of it, but I can't really remember. I don't remember it looking that odd. But something about it, I don't know. You guys will have to let me know what you think. And it's got those same kind of basic wheels on it. This one actually has, inserted details for the headlights, I believe, are probably part of that window piece. Pretty, elaborately detailed, though. Really nice. And, I like it. I mean, I like it. I'm not sure I'm sold on the design of this vehicle. But full disclosure, for some reason I bought 3 of these. I don't know why. Because, I was just trying to save on shipping, right? So you buy more stuff. That's the way that works. You're getting stuff shipped from overseas. All right. Lastly, we're going to get into some Tomica Limited Vintage Neo. And starting with the non-Ferrari, we got the Honda S2000 1999. I didn't even know this thing was going to come in this big, kind of premium Tomica limited vintage packaging. Looks like we're going to have some options here. We can have top down or top up. We will explore that. Let's go ahead and pull the car out. It's nestled in this little, tissue. A plastic thing inside of this. The packaging is very elaborate. Top up, top down. I think I'm going to go top down. You could open, I'm going to leave this actually just sealed in the bag, though, for now. And, yeah, well, we're going to open up this one. And take the piece out. Actually, we'll place it in just a moment here. This one actually has this is why it's in the premium packaging, because it has an opening feature. Not all Tomica Limited Vintage have opening features. The ones that do, though, typically are going to show up in this more premium packaging, and they go for a more premium price. But you do have some detail in there, actually quite a bit of detail in there. Opening hood. That opens and shuts quite well. Inserted details, of course, for the headlights and the taillights, and of course, superbly done by Tomica Limited Vintage. They have superb quality control in most cases. And let's go ahead and put this in. Now, I'm glad that they give you the option to do this, and they don't make you glue it in, and it does fit in quite snug, though, and that's good. Not falling out. Very cool. Some of the Tomica Limited Vintage will have suspension. This is not one of those. I think it looks best top down, so we're going to do that. Who wants a rag top up? Displayed car. Just doesn't make sense to me. So we're going to leave it like this. It's cool that they do offer you the option, though. Nice silver color. Pretty beautiful car. Neat little car, and I'm digging it. So let me know what you think on that one. Now let's get into the Ferraris. We're gonna do, this is another little piece of the packaging here. Kind of neat. I think this is actually supposed to be in here like this, though, or something. Maybe not. Whatever. Put it in here. There you go. All right. Close up the box. Leave the car out. That's going to go on display. And we'll set her aside and grab the Ferrari Testarossa in yellow. Now, this car has already come out. I don't know how many colors, actually, because they did the Testarossa, they did the 512. I know this has come out in red, obviously. That was the first color it came out in. I want to say this has come out in black as well. Did we get a white one? I don't think so. At least I don't have it, looking up there. Ferrari Testarossa. I like this because they actually put the side mirrors on this one as well. Sometimes they make you glue those on, fellas, and I don't like that. So I don't like having to build it. If I want to do model building, we'll buy a model kit. All right. Same sort of packaging idea. You guys have seen this stuff hopefully by now. It's very, very, very cool. It's got foil on it. It's a very high-end, very expensive feeling packaging as far as diecast goes. Kind of feels like something you'd get a watch in. And look at this gem. Very, very cool. So here's your Ferrari Testarossa in yellow. Very cool. We get an opening engine compartment. Usually these stay open pretty good. I don't want to force it too much, but this one's not staying open. That's okay. Important thing is that it shuts. And shuts tight, hiding the majority of the lines. This one does have a bit of suspension to it as well. Just a gorgeous, finely detailed little model. I love it. The interior is very detailed as well, including the steering wheel in there. The windows are always like crystal clear on these. You'll notice on a lot of diecast manufacturers are not going to have that crystal clear of plastic on the windows, and this is just, I mean, it's crystal clear. Quite beautiful indeed. So I'm loving this one. Glad I picked this one up. I don't pick up all the Ferrari. I haven't picked up all the Ferraris, I guess, as they've come out. I've picked up, you know, quite a few of them, but I do not have all of them. And it's hard to do it because they're just really expensive. Very expensive. And that's why, you know, I just can't get them all. So, but I got quite a few of them. It'd be nice to have a full collection. So maybe I'll go after them at some point. But, you know, the longer you wait on some of these, the more expensive they're probably going to become. However, though, I will say that the price has been holding kind of steady at retail on most of the models because it seems they made enough of them. I mean, they're limited, but it seems they made enough of them, and they haven't really, you know, demanded a high secondary market value. I think maybe the only one that really might is the F40 with the original one that came out. So this one, this GTO looks like the mirrors are not attached right out of the box. And since they're not attached right out of the box, they will remain inside the box because I am not going to be gluing anything on to these. Here's your mirrors. This is the most irritating thing about Tomica Limited Vintage. I get why they do it because it's like they don't want them to break in transit, and it probably cuts cost on the production not having to have them assembled. But these things are expensive, man. They should come with all the parts and pieces attached whenever possible. And this one I think would have been possible for them to do it, especially since they did it with that one. And furthermore, like, it's irritating because there's no real indication of exact placement of the mirror, so you literally just glue it right to the surface of whatever you're gluing it to. And that's just, I don't know, not something I'm going to ever be doing. This car is amazing looking, though. It's beautiful. Yeah, I like it a lot. I love it. It's got suspension. It's going to have an opening engine compartment, but this one's going to be slightly hard to, there we go, get to because it opens like that. That seems like it would be extremely irritating to work on. Opening that like that and then having to be like over the whatever C pillar, whatever it is, B pillar of the car to get into there and work on anything. That seems a little crazy that they would do that. Shuts really nice, very, very tight lines, and this car does not disappoint. This is actually one of the nicer Ferrari Tomica Limited vintage, I'll say, that they have put out. Very, very cool. You can see the gearbox or whatever in the back. That's really awesome. So I'm liking that one. That's definitely a highlight of the week. That's beautiful. Beautiful little car. All right. And that's going to be it for this episode. So we had a good variety of items today. We've got some Mini GT. We got some Tomica. We got some Tomica Limited Vintage. We had some Auto World, Ultra Reds, all sorts of favorites for me. We had a Matchbox. We had that old vintage Schuko, which these things are pretty cool. Now, don't go searching for these on eBay and buying them now. Save some for me. I want to find some at cheap prices. There's a couple of castings I got my eyes on, so we'll see. We'll see what happens if I add some more of these to the collection. I just think they're pretty darn cool. I like some of the vintage stuff. It's just got a different feel to it. Of course, they were made completely differently. They were designed completely differently, and it's neat to go back in time and check out some of that stuff. But this thing is just gorgeous. I'm gonna say this is definitely the prettiest car here. It's beautiful. All right. Anyway, thank you guys very much again for watching another lengthy Diecast weekly episode, and hopefully we'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.